she very cute. Dude, look at this. All right, let's open this guy here up. So, actually, before we do, this is what they sent me in terms of documentation for this. Pricing starts at $180 for this. There's going to be what they call a consolidated media control panel, which I think is a fancy word for it has a knob and a mini screen on it. Similar in size, if not the same size as found on the QK100. It does go up to about $200, and then I'm not sure if this is a flat shipping rate. I'm assuming it is. $30 shipping to CONUS. I don't know if that counts towards anything else. CONUS is, within the United States. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's anything else too. The interesting thing about this board though, it does have 7 color themes. I was looking through it because they said pick one to review. I picked pink because it had cats on it, and that's literally why I wanted it. But each one of them has its own kind of theme. So if you guys were interested in like picking a theme of like if the badge corresponds with the theme, it's kind of cute. It's different. I like it. Here's what I like about this though. It does have magnetic connectors. So the PCB and daughterboard for the media control panel, whatever you want to call it, isn't a ribbon cable. And I'm glad, and it says right in their thing, it says like, we know a lot of people have been complaining about ribbon cables. I'm so glad they listened. It's very interesting. Yeah, price point's not too bad for this. I did look up some stats on my own time. It does have an 18.4 millimeter front height, something like that, 18.3. I think that's good. I don't know what the effective front height with switches is though. So we'll have to take a look at that too. But that's about my favorite front height. Plate foam, plate, other plate. I'm assuming are these both aluminum? Or I don't know what material this is. This might be FR4 actually. This looks like aluminum. Here's the PCB. So there is one ribbon cable. It's already attached to that thing. We're gonna leave it there. This is what I'm talking about here. So this will just essentially clamp down and connect. You don't actually have to plug in a little daughterboard and fiddle. You know what's funny is I've mentioned this kind of stuff before. They have different like press down connectors and stuff like that. I think this is good tech. I don't know how durable this is. I don't know the longevity of this stuff, but I have seen this before, and I was always surprised that more people didn't use things like that. The knob assembly flapping around is cracking me up. Yeah, a little bit. It's just kind of fluttering there. Now, the other weird thing about this board though, this is something I don't necessarily agree with. And it was in their marketing little spiel there about why they did it. Fixed spacebar. It's weird because usually QK is good with giving us options for things. So I was a little bit surprised that they didn't give us options. And they had mentioned in the little write-up that they had put that it was to ensure like keycap compatibility for more people. It makes me think that perhaps their audience might be more geared towards people who don't use 7U, which I don't know. I think that's very interesting and also conflicting statements, because they also mentioned that like, and this was like they said enthusiasts have trouble with ribbon cables, so we're going to eliminate those. But then they just said like, clearly this might be a target for enthusiasts, but then they just denied us an option over here. So not the end of the world, but for anyone who cares about 7U, this is the aluminum plate. And then we have foam, which we're going to put to the side. I'm probably not going to be using foam today. So if there's anyone who wants to see a foamy build, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't mind foamy, but I'm a little over it personally. I have 1 or 2 boards that I kind of go back to for that, and I'm kind of eh. It's only hot swap. Yeah, I don't even see anything about a solderable PCB. Oh, carbon fiber as well. I actually don't know what plate I want to use today. All right, what else do we got in here? What other goodies? 2 little boxes of goodies here. And there's the keyboard. Let's take a look at the keyboard first. This doesn't look half bad at all on paper. It looks like they actually made some really cool improvements here, which I'm really excited for. Oh, okay, hold on 1 second, guys. And actually, just to show you guys, there's that magnetic connector on the inside. Loving that already. That's cool. I appreciate that they're doing something different here. Also, yes, she very cute. Look at this. So all the badges are going to be different. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. And then I think the other thing that I read, the USB dongle hides in the badge. Appreciate that as well. There's some cool features to this board. I'll give them that. Also, I appreciate this too. Dongle Pod 75. What does the N stand? I have no idea. Is there like an explanation why they called it the QK75N? I am not sure. It's non-exploded. Is that really what they're calling it? Does the N stands for non-exploded? Interesting. All right, and there's a little screen plus the knob. So that stuff, the knob and all that stuff as well, features the same kind of tech, by the way. I don't know if you guys can really see it. It's all that magnetic connector stuff. Really appreciate that, but let's open this thing up because I do want to see the insides. Do you guys like non-explode it for 75s or explode it? I'm going to be honest, I personally think non-explode it, and I think the Sonic kind of sold me on that. And there was also the Hex. The Hex kind of sold me on that too. Explode it just kind of feels like when I use an exploded board now, but it's personal line. It's personal like choice for all the lineups of stuff that they have. Interesting. Very interesting. So this just gets pushed down onto the PCB. So interesting. So I guess there's no real reason to take this apart, but actually I'm curious, does this come off? Oh, interesting. So this is probably like a little stopper for this so it doesn't smack into the bottom of the case. Do you guys want to see what's underneath here? I'm actually more curious about the longevity for this. Like the longevity of how long that would last. I'm assuming it's good. Like I wouldn't see that wearing out, right? It's kind of like MagSafe, yeah. Because it has magnets over there and then it has these connector pins. And you can even see my screwdriver's getting caught to that too. Cool. I'm interested in this already. So there's the batteries. That's where the dongle hides. You can access it via the badge on the bottom. Interesting. They have some silicone blockers here on the side. So I guess the battery doesn't get shifted into the PCB. That's very thoughtful design. I like that. So it avoids any sort of clanking around on the inside. Very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. So in this case here, you do have to have something proprietary for all this stuff. So I'm not mad because this is stuff that we really haven't seen on keyboards. So I'm totally fine with them using a proprietary daughterboard here. Now, this just sits. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is such a lackluster way to show you guys. But this is not moving at all back and forth. Not because it's caught there, but there's two magnets here that allows it to just lock into place. That's kind of cool. So that's the daughterboard. That's how you connect this. You just push this down. Well, not even push, just lay it flat and it just... That's pretty neat, man. I mean, that's really all that we have to do because everything's pretty much assembled and we don't need to really go through much. So let's just move this to the side. I don't exactly know what material this particular foam is. I'm pretty positive the rest is Poron foam. This kind of looks like an EVA foam, but this is really light. So usually if you decide to put in this particular style of foam, it doesn't affect sound all that much. It doesn't make it all that foamy. I don't know if I'm going to use it today, but we'll see. All right, let's see what was in these things here. Oh, I got a cable. Nice touch. So if you guys want it, it does come with a cable too. It's nice. It's the QK cable. It's branded. Just a little additional value. Oh, is this a spare daughterboard? It looks like, and a spare connector for the media control center. Interesting. Keycap puller. What do we got here? Feet, extra feet. It looks like some screws. One ribbon cable and a screwdriver. This is cute. I mean, I don't think we really need anything today except for the gaskets. So I think this is really all I need to leave out. I'm gonna leave out the daughterboard cables, or I guess these ribbon cables for those small daughterboards at the top. So I think I had to change something. I think Syra messaged me about that before stream, saying I might have to swap one out. So far the board's off to a good start. Can you build this plateless? Absolutely can, but I'm not gonna. Because, listen, I don't really trust hot swap with plateless. All right, let's put some gaskets into this thing. All right, so this just gets placed here. If you guys were curious, just really quickly again, we'll showcase this. There is no cables for the daughterboard. And they did put a big silicone block over here to protect the daughterboard for the screen and stuff from impact. But all you do is you lay the magnets on top of each other and it connects. And that's it. That is pretty much the entire thing. And then this would just sit like this. So that's pretty nifty. Yeah, and then this, I know it seems like it's on an angle now, but this just gets put in like that. And that's pretty much the entire build. That's all you do, it would seem. This is not staying in really that nice, but there we go. All right, well, that's very simple. It's almost the perfect pink. It's a cute board. They did a good job of making this board hella cute. So let's see if this all turns on and we installed everything right. So there's no plugs to plug in. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, it's definitely a different feeling not having anything that I need it to actually physically connect. Like, you guys know how I always forget to do the daughterboards? Like, I always forgot to plug them in. Custom to, oh, it's left. They got like a matrix screensaver type thing going on. There's like a little animation, QK. So not much on this that I can do without having the actual program installed, which brings me to that point that I was bringing to you guys earlier. I can't really demo this screen all that much because I don't have a Windows computer, and I found out right before stream that there was no Mac software for this. So if we're gonna bring up some stuff before we do the sound test, that might be detrimental to the purchase. If you don't have a Windows computer and you want to pick this up, I don't know a way that you can edit the screen unless you have a Windows computer. So that may hinder your purchase on this. The other thing that may hinder your purchase is no 7U support. That may also hinder your purchase here. I don't know why they went that route. I really don't understand. Usually they're really good about offering both 6.25 and 7U. I don't think at the end of the day it's a huge deal, but if that's something that you cared about for your aesthetics of the keyboard. And also, I don't really like this border around this, but it is what it is. Other than that, Mac users can afford a spare PC. Source Mac user? Macs aren't crazy expensive these days though. Love the aesthetic of this. This looks absolutely phenomenal. The little meow badge, the badge actually holds the wireless connector in there too. Little Bluetooth dongle. Love this. This is so pretty. The side profile is pretty on the keyboard as well. They did a great job theming these things out. Gotta give it to them there. The overall board is absolutely so easy to build. I like the implementation of doing something no one's done before. They saw a problem, which was people, I hate using ribbon cables personally, and they kind of eliminated the need to fiddle with those while you assemble the board. All you have to do is lay it down, which is fantastic. It is a gasket mounted keyboard, so it uses those like silicone, I don't even know if we call them feet, socks, whatever you want to call them, but they're just silicone gaskets here. Now, yeah, I was about to say, I really don't like the QK75, the original one. I thought that was the most boring out of all the QK boards that they've ever put out. And that was just building the QK60 and then coming to the 75. I think this has a lot more going for it compared to the last one. A lot more. All right, let's see what this sounds like. I don't mind this at all. The spacebar seems a little bit, maybe not my favorite spacebar in the world. The alphas sound good. They feel good too. The keyboard definitely has a little bit of a softness to it. I was worried about that because it has that magnetic connector over there. This is pretty solid. Nope. I need to tune up the stabs ever so slightly. I'm gonna try a Nixie for the spacebar too. Okay, I don't mind this sound profile at all. It definitely has a little bit more of a boring spacebar, but that could also be the switch. I also might opt to take off those gaskets at the spacebar too, because I don't think this plate's gonna go anywhere. Now, what do I got over here? I have an Oil King we can try first. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Nixie because I really want to try that. I really want to try a cherry switch. Let's go get one of those. Give me one sec, guys, while I get a Nixie. One momento. I need to find one that's already been moved. I swear I had like one baggie full of them, but these are the ones from the... I think this is one extra one that I had from the derivative that I kept from JJW's build. Not bad. It's not bad. I'm going to do one thing to this board. I'm going to take out those two gaskets. Maybe that's the weakest point sound-wise on this board, is just the spacebar so far. But let's see. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. I'm going to take out this cherry Nixie here. I'll put in the other Nixie. Or actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just put in this Nixie here. All right, let's screw it back together. I took out those two gaskets underneath, well, I guess where the stabs are. That's, I guess, the technicality of where it is. Let's see. I feel like that helped a lot, actually. I want to try back with the other switch, the original switch that we had, the neo white one, where the stabs are. Actually, does that sound better? I feel like it does. I don't mind this. It's a nice sounding keyboard. Yeah, I don't think this is quiet. I'm gonna try it with that bottom foam now, just to show you guys. I love this though. This is fantastic. This not having a daughterboard business or a cable for it, that is absolutely fantastic. So this is what I mean. I actually don't mind this particular foam. Because it's not dense. So, I think the takeaway from this is you can kind of mod it with that that bottom foam. It does make a little bit of a difference. I do agree with what Ren just said. I do feel like the foam, oddly enough, rounds out the board. I don't think this sounds foamy at all. I will say this though, both with foam and without the foam at the bottom, I don't think was terrible. I think it's optional in that case, and you know, it's good. Oh wait, there's like a little plastic film on this I didn't remove. Hold on, I didn't even know it was there. I almost pulled a Linus and left the plastic film on something. That's crazy to me. That is super cute. There's one more plastic film on this guy. I will take you off. I'm happy with this overall. Dude, if I were to spend 180 bucks on this, I'd be happy. I wouldn't be happy if I couldn't use the software though. Like, again, we'll just go quickly over everything. I personally like the sound profile of it. The feeling of it, I would say, is in the middle. It's like your typical gasket. It's a little bit soft, a little bit firm, so it's kind of in the middle. Medium firmness, if you want to call it that. Depending on the switches you will use and the plate you use, obviously the sound's going to change. I do think it has some character to it. I don't think it's overly bright like an Envoy keyboard is. I don't think you're going to get that signature, obviously, out of this. Definitely has a little bit more bassy tones to it. Again, could also be the plate. Aluminum might brighten this up a little bit more. It is $180 to $200. I don't quite like this border around this. I think that's kind of tacky looking, but it is what it is there. And then I also, like I said before, really don't like the fact that I can't change anything if I only had a Mac computer. I would like to see perhaps, and you know, I did see someone just post up parallels. You have to remember the average person is probably not going to install that. I mean, I'm not going to install that. So it'd just be kind of like a sucky thing if you couldn't change this up. So yeah, like Horizon just said, it might be a deal breaker for Mac users. Also, only 6.25U. Other than that, the front height's pretty comfortable. I believe they said it was 18.4, and that's not the effective key height with the keycaps. So pretty standard, pretty comfortable there. Side profile's pretty. Overall, the keyboard's pretty. Knob, if you guys care about knobs. Overall, I think this is a pretty good little board from QK. Bunch of ways you can dress it up too with all the foams they give you. Bye everybody. Have a good one.